Amazing Annabelle and the Fall Festival. The Fall Festival poem. An autumn breeze is blowing. Excitement is in the air. The Fall Festival is coming. There's so much to do and prepare. Annabelle's on the planning committee. Then an unfortunate injury takes place. She's on crutches and then needs to call a friend. Taking a back seat is a change of pace, something Annabelle will soon embrace. She handles it with kindness and grace. Chapter 1. Fall Festival Meeting. Today was a brisk fall day in October, the second month of school. So much was happening in Annabelle's life that she barely had any free time for herself. But that's how Annabelle likes things. She was definitely a busy bee, full of energy and drive. She welcomed every activity and every task, no matter how big or small, and she always had high expectations. Annabelle enjoyed doing amazing things that led to a greater purpose and made others happy. She was a people person who loved interesting conversations and activities with others. She wasn't your typical student. Her mom would always tell her that if she wasn't such a small and youthful looking little girl, she could easily pass as a young adult. Annabelle loved just being a kid, and a very smart one at that. She was definitely going to make the most out of every situation and shine while doing whatever she put her mind to do. Once, Annabelle had the crazy idea of having her very own arts and craft club right in her house. She asked her mom to take her to the store to buy construction paper, watercolor paints, and brushes. She created a large, colorful poster that she placed in front of her house for all to see as advertisement for her club. Then she created a schedule that listed the days they would meet and the specific activities they would do on each day. She even wrote down the supplies they would use and made illustrations on the schedule, which looked more like a fancy brochure. When the first day of her club took place, she borrowed one of her dad's jazz CDs and played quiet music as her friends came to her house to begin class. She wanted to set the tone for creativity to happen. She wanted everyone to paint a picture of something that made them feel good inside. It didn't matter what it was, just as long as they could tell a story that went with their creation. She organized everything so well. She paid attention to every detail of each part of the club's first meeting, from the planning to the atmosphere. Annabelle's idea for an arts and craft club came from a children's show she saw on television once. She just changed things around a bit to suit her amazing creativity. Annabelle was definitely one of a kind, and the club was a major success. Now it was October, the fall festival month at Melville School. It was a time of pumpkin picking and carving, hay rides, as well as trick or treating. As the school prepared for the annual fall festival, there was a feeling of excitement in the air. All the students felt it. In October, Mr. Jefferson, the principal, always chose the science theme, changes in fall, for the curriculum celebration throughout the building. Each class was responsible for doing a fall activity as well as making a special decorations to display on the bulletin board outside their classrooms. Annabelle was on the Fall Festival Youth Committee, which was led by Mrs. Griffin, the art teacher. Annabelle loved Mrs. Griffin because Annabelle loved art. She also liked how they both sometimes had the same natural hairstyles. Annabelle was chosen to be part of this group because she was also a member of the art club that met after school every Wednesday. Caitlin, her best friend, was also a member of the youth club as well as on the youth committee. During the first meeting, Mrs. Griffin gave her introduction speech and then listened to all the new ideas from students on the committee. Darrell went first. I think it's time to dig into technology and create a full pumpkin robot this year. And I can head up this very challenging project. You see, my dad works at Mercer Technologies, and building robots is a part of his job. Darrell was super excited about his suggestion. Mrs. Griffin really liked the sound of it. That sounds great, Darrell. I'll follow up with your dad on that idea, she said. Amber went next. I would like to see a best costume contest, but in order to enter, the costume must be original, not store bought. Maybe all the kids could vote for the winner, Amber said. That's a good idea, too, Mrs. Griffin nodded as she wrote all the ideas down on a clipboard. I think we should have a cool dance contest, Caitlin said. Everyone seemed to love her idea. Annabelle considered so many great ideas in her head that it was very hard to just think of one. So she just started speaking, hoping she wouldn't go on for too long. First, I think we should have a pumpkin and apple decorating center, she said. The apples should be decorated with items such as marshmallows, raisins, and candy corn. And we can eat them afterwards. We can attach them with toothpicks. The pumpkins, on the other hand, should be decorated with markers, string, cotton balls, toothpicks, cereal, and all sorts of other items, since people can't eat them as is. Then, after they are done decorating, we could have a photo booth where the kids can take a picture with their decorated pumpkin or apple. She continued, others could also use the photo booth to take pictures with their friends and family to create special memories of this awesome fall festival. Annabelle could hardly control her excitement. Mrs. Griffin looked at her with great delight. Wow, I see you have really given this fall festival a lot of thought, Annabelle. I think all your ideas are great, she said. The other members all agreed with Mrs. Griffin and had good ideas to say about Annabelle's ideas. Mrs. Griffin ended the meeting with a few last words. All the ideas given today are totally great. The next step is to construct a game plan. I want everyone to think about how your idea will be completed. What will you need? Who will be involved? How will your plan be carried out successfully? I want everyone to write out the details for your ideas and present them at our next meeting, Mrs. Griffin said. Annabelle left the meeting feeling happy about the next step. Caitlin was equally excited as they both walked to the late bus to go home. This is so perfect. I love all the ideas, Annabelle said. I'm going to brush up on some new dance steps for the contest, Caitlin said. And I'm going to make a list of arts and craft supplies I'll need, as well as food to decorate the apples. Hey, maybe you can come over tomorrow and we can make a few samples, Annabelle said. Only if you come over to my house and help me make up some dance steps and pick some good songs, Caitlin said. Annabelle agreed. That sounds like an amazing plan for the both of us. It's a deal.